Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back from the LG Studios here in New York City. I'm axeltoss, joined by axslav. We're currently watching Season 1 Premier League Round of 32 action. Of course, pretty awesome games so far between Snoot and Theognis. Snoot taking out Theognis 2-0, but, you know, it does say 2-0, but I thought Theognis did a very solid job. It's not like it was a walkover by any means. I was very impressed with Theognis' play at time.
I really like the builds he was using. You know, it really just came down to a little bit of scouting and dealing with those attacks a little bit more efficiently. Of course, they asked him to place Snoot. It basically is our first winner, but he hasn't advanced out of the group yet. He needs 2 wins to get out of the group, and of course, 2 losses eliminates you from the group. So our next match is going to be between Vibe and the STC. Of course, STC, a pretty well-known.
Sorry, I was taken aback a little bit by the handsomeness on the screen. Go ahead, excuse me.
A lot of handsomeness, a lot of handsomeness. But STC, a very, very well-known top Korean player. I mean, he's played in a top 4 in many different world-class events there throughout the past year or two. And one thing that's really cool about him is he switched to his race because he admired the Brood War legends, and now he's becoming not quite a legend in StarCraft 2, but one of the most respected and skilled players out there.
Yeah, absolutely. The STC, a very consistent Terran player. Of course, he has quite a rocky road as far as teams are concerned. He actually started on STX Seoul and Brood War, but then moved over to OGS once of course Wings of Liberty came out. From OGS, you know, OGS disbanded, so he ended up going to Quantic. He actually spent some time in the Startail house with Quantic Gaming. Of course, they had a partnership back then. This was about 6 months ago to a year ago. Spent a lot of time there playing, practicing, but then Quantic ended up disbanding. So he was a free agent for a little bit and then decided to actually ended up with Complexity. So I think Quantic ended up reforming a little bit after he joined Complexity. So now STC, you know, one of the best Korean players on a non-Korean team. Of course, Complexity based in the USA. So, you know, Complexity will see how he can do in this tournament. Of course, you know, again, very good, very solid Terran Korean player. A lot of people's favorite to actually win this group. Of course, he's going up against Vibe. Vibe from Root Gaming, the defending United States of America WCS champion, won the 2012 WCS USA. I think he ended up getting 3rd at WCS NA. But definitely a very solid Zerg player. He loves those macro games, but again, a lot of people considering him the underdog.
Definitely fair to say that, of course. As far as North American Zerg, I think he's pretty much up there. I mean, Scarlet, of course, is probably the most well-known as far as tournament results. But remember, Vibe won WCS NA, or WCS USA, and he got 2nd place at NA. So one of the top premier players from North America. Yeah. He's going to put up an insane match against STC.
If you're a fan of the USA and you're looking for a guy to root for, Vibe might be the one. Again, he won USA WCS last year. We also had a chance to ask the players some questions, and Vibe has actually responded. Says, I'm kind of worried about playing against the STC simply because I've lost him twice before in tournament setting. Koreans have always been intimidating in StarCraft 2, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a few foreigners win. And overall, though, I think people will see a mostly Korean dom. So, you know, he's a little worried about the STC, and I don't blame him. Not the best bracket draw, I don't think, for him. Of course, the STC came through qualifiers, but who knows? Maybe Vibe will be able to hold his own and pull off an upset.
He might be able to. Of course, we saw Snoot took out a Terran 2-0 in the first match. So maybe Vibe can say that it's a Days of the Swarm right here. But game number 1, are the players ready?
I am asking if they're ready because we are live right now. People on my friends list are joining the lobby. Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
All right, they're both ready, so let's get it started off. Of course, the first map, same as last game, is going to be on Whirlwind. On Whirlwind, we saw the Zerg player Snoot opt for a very aggressive Roach speed lean, Bane lean type of attack, and this is something I've seen on Whirlwind several times before because it is fairly open map, so the overwhelming ground forces can do pretty well. Do we think Vibe is going to adopt a similar strategy here?
I would think so. It's so tough. I feel like Vibe, if he can focus on preventing medevac drops. Is that weird to say? Like, how weird is that to say? I feel like if Vibe has a game plan in this game of not losing 10 or more drones, or maybe 5 or more drones to medevac drops, then I think he's going to be a happy camper. Because I feel like the STC, that's going to be a core part of his play. And if Vibe can prevent that damage from happening, and he's on equal footing, then obviously he's going to have a better chance. But I wouldn't be I think that'd be a good game plan for him.
Oh, yeah. Easier said than done, though.
Sure, absolutely.
Sometimes the best way to stop those drops is to play like the Snoot did on Whirlwind. Just kill them before they can get the drops off the ground. Because this is one tough map to stop drop play on.
Absolutely. Okay, here we are in Game 1 of this best of 3, the second match of the night in the top left-hand location. We have the Red Terran player from Team Complexity qualified for the Premier League by making a serious run through the qualifier. He is the STC. Considered by many a favorite to win this group and advance on to the round of 16. His opponent in the top right-hand location, the defending champion of WCS United States of America of 2012. Can he represent the Star-Spangled Banner, the red, white, and blue, and advance from this stage and get through the of course, get through Snoot, the Ognis, and the STC? He is representing Root Gaming. He is Vibe, aka Dan Sherlong. Vibe's Twitter is @RootVibe. So everyone needs to tweet at him and say USA, USA. And of course, the STC's Twitter is @COL_the STC. Go give him some love. Give him some support as well. Just because he's considered the favorite doesn't mean he doesn't have to play like a beast to win this group.
That's right. It doesn't mean he doesn't deserve some love as well.
Absolutely.
So we can see here different spawning positions than we saw with the Theognis Snoot match. And Vibe has already spotted the STC. He's already spotted the fact that STC went command center first on the low ground. But of course, how is he going to react to this? We see he's getting the extractor before the spawning pool, so he's going to be looking to get either speed or tech very quickly. And you know what's interesting here is that speed this fast can sometimes catch a Terran off guard. And with the builds they're both doing, if Terran moves out with his first 2 Hellions as his scouting, technique, those speedies could kill the first 2 Hellions. And if you lose the first 2 Hellions, things can kind of snowball out of control, and you lose total control of the map.
Absolutely. Again, those are pretty much the first attacking units you're making as a Terran player, so got to be careful about that. So I'm interested in seeing where's the STC going to scout, because I don't know if he's seen this Overlord from his opponent. So he can still think that his opponent is in the bottom left or the bottom right. So we might see him send an SCV to this bottom left base, then to the bottom right, then the top right. Or he might just, I don't think he'll wait until he gets Hellions out. But
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, to be honest.
Really? Okay, well, I feel like that's a decent advantage for Vibe, the fact that he knows where his opponent is, and his opponent doesn't necessarily know this.
It could be. If he does wait for the Hellions to scout and they get caught out on the map by the speedings, that could be the great advantage for Vibe. But no, he is going to do the SCV scout, and he is down to the top right first. So he's going to spot Vibe. The question is, will he spot the timing of the Zergling's speed upgrade? I mean, obviously he can't scout the exact timing unless he's still alive when it completes. But if he can see the fact that there's been gas mined and it's being researched, and he knows to be a little bit afraid of that potential.
Whoa, SCV doing a little loop-de-loop here.
I think he wants to deliver. I think he already knows where Vibe is based on the fact that there were Zerglings in that location.
I mean, the Zerglings kind of came from the bottom, so I don't know if that's 100% sure, but in the great scheme of things, I don't think it's a huge deal.
Yeah. I think he's pretty confident. Okay. Not too often would they be in that location.
Yeah, because the Lings came from the Watchtower.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Not a gigantic deal, of course. What's going to be interesting is which bases Vibe's going to take. You know, I would think it's more likely to proceed along the bottom right, but then you're getting further and further away from your main, so it's a little bit hard, to hold, say, this base if the STC continues to counterattack. In the same token, you can take this expansion, which is what Zerg players do a lot of the times. But again, it's closer to your opponent, so it can be a little bit tricky to hold. So should be interesting to see where Vibe decides to go with that, and if STC even allows the game to get to that point. That being said, Vibe focusing on the drone production at this point in time, just now adding on that Roach Warren. Nothing too indicative of him wanting to do pressure. Of course, not saving much supply for Roaches, so I don't think it's going to be a timing attack, considering he's at 52 out of 52. But he could make, 2 to 3 to 4 Roaches just to help defend against the Hellion.
He might. You know what's really cool is he got the Zergling speed, and as soon as the STC sees that, the STC can't really send a small group of Hellions on the map. He has to wait for 4, and even with 4, he might want to be a little bit conservative about sending them all the way across the map, because if all of a sudden there was 16 speedlings, those 4 Hellions could be in trouble. But Vibe, knowing STC will probably play more cautiously, wasn't at all worried about the first 2 Hellions. He just said, I'll get a few speedlings, and that should be enough to scare him off. But now the 4 Hellions are moving out. There's roaches in the way, though.
Look at this. He's at 94, 64 out of 94. So now he's definitely going to be making a lot of roaches. He's been mining 3 gases for a bit here, and he's spending nothing. He's spending, I guess, on nothing but roaches. Adding on a Baneling list. This could be an all-in type play where you get a bunch of roaches, a bunch of lings, turn them all into Banelings, and try to explode in your opponent's natural, who's on 2 bases. But STC adding on 2 additional bunkers. I think that's definitely what we're going to be seeing from Vibe here.
He scanned Vibe's base, saw all the buildings. I think he knows what's going on, but how certain is he of it? And also, can this timing hit before stim completes? And before too many units are produced by the STC?
You know, he didn't see the Baneling nest, so we'll see what happens. I mean, what Vibe is going to need to do here, if he can catch these Hellions. That would be great. The Hellions have no way to get back home, really.
Oh, the roaches have I mean, the Hellions don't really want to get back home. What they want to do is they want to snipe the Banelings.
Vibe trying to set up a surround, going to come in from the back with the lings, and now the roaches have essentially cornered these Hellions. However, oh my god, so many lings falling there from Vibe. Taking down 3, maybe 4 Hellions? 2 left? Okay, they're all going to get tracked down.
I think STC's pretty happy with that.
He should know what's happening now.
Yeah, he knows exactly what's going on now, and he substantially slowed the rate at which the Banelings would be morphed by killing the first set of speedlings out the gate. Now, of course, can he hold it? I think he needs more. He's doing that. He's really respecting this push, which is exactly what he has to do.
Yeah, another bunker being added on also, these Widow Mines. If those get some really good explosions, this is not going to work. So Vibe needs to peel away a unit at a time to absorb the Widow Mine shots. That's exactly what he's going to do, and then send in the Banelings. There's not a lot of Widow Mines with active shots here, exploding into the first bunker, but here come the Widow Mine shots. There should be one coming out momentarily, and there it is, hitting only 1 Baneling. Vibe doing a decent job here, coming in with all the lings and the Banelings. The roaches charging into the natural expansion. Explosions everywhere. It's still 2 bunkers up, but both of those getting taken down immediately, and Vibe is in his opponent's natural and main base.
There was no wall in the main. Vibe just runs up there. He's now camping the production.
Oh my god.
STC, he had so many bunkers, he had so many Widow Mines, but I think Vibe is going to do it here.
Nothing but units in the production tab from Vibe. He wants to win this game right here, right now, and he might. He's up 92 to 30 in supply. STC trying to scramble, trying to get more Zergling, or more Marines, more Widow Mines, more Marauders on the field, but Vibe has so much. Still no completed wall into the main base, and look at all these units coming across the map here from Vibe. Vibe is going to take the 1-0 advantage here in this game, and the STC and many people watching might be in shock.
Wow. Who would have thought? Man, what an upset by Vibe taking the first map there so far. I mean, we talk about how great Vibe is, you know, #1 WCS USA last year, #2 in A, but STC's one of these Korean giants. You just don't expect them to fall, but Vibe did it, man. Well, he's done it for 1 map.
Yeah, and what's interesting was, you know, STC knew exactly what was coming.
Yes.
What were the main problems that you think STC did with his defense?
Well, you know, one of the key things, of course, is ideally you'd make a siege tank. If you don't want to make a siege tank, what's very important is you wall your main, because no matter how many bunkers you have, if they want to commit enough Banelings, they will take them down. Of course, it's cost inefficient for them, but in the short term, it's okay if they can get into main and camp the production facilities.
Yes.
STC had no wall, which let Vibe get right into the main, and once they camp the production facilities, your Marines die as soon as they pop out of the barracks, and that's not a good situation.
I think Vibe also did a fantastic job recognizing the Widow Mine play. You know, it's very important as a Zerg player, peel away a Ling, peel away a Roach, 2 Roaches, absorb those initial Widow Mine hits, and then those Widow Mines are worthless. They're going to be absolutely worthless. They have to wait a number of time, and over that time, that's when you hit with all of your units. And then the STC Vibe was able to do that, so STC couldn't hold.
It is. There's one trick that the Terrans can do, and Theognis, I think, made a little bit of a mistake this as well, is that they put too many units into far back bunkers early on. The more units you have up at the front of your wall means that you can kill those early units before they trigger the Widow Mines. And then once the Banelings break the wall, you retreat to the bunkers. STC had most of his damage output back in the bunkers, and they weren't able to shoot those first wave of units, which made the Widow Mines be deactivated.
Wow, well, very exciting game #1. Vibe going for a Roachling, Baneling all-in, and it worked pretty much as well as he could have hoped. Vibe taking the 1-0 lead in this best of 3, guys. Stay tuned. Game 2 coming up.